Happy Valentine's Day, friend. You will love how to solve this Valentine Sudoku by Florian Workman. Not only that, I'm going to give you two great strategies you need to solve this. The second is my favorite. So you want to stick around for that, and I'm going to give you a special announcement that you don't want to miss. Click below if you want to give it a go. With that, it's solving time. So you start with this puzzle. You want to look at the fives. You get fives here in rows 6 and 4 and coming down column 7. I mean, there's only one place left for a 5 here in block 6, which is right there. And then if you see how this 5 cuts up column 5, and then another 5 cuts across row 2, I mean, there's only 2 places for a 5 up here in block 2, which makes it a pointing pair. That means the 5s have to be somewhere in block 2, and they're limited to row 1. So it means 5s can't be anywhere else along row 1. So we know that we have a 5 right here, and this 5s mean 5s can't be here or here. And with this 5 means there's only one place left for a 5 in block 1, right there. And something else to notice is how the 5 and 7s come up here and cut across row 2. So this is actually a 5-7 hidden pair. And this is going to come into play. The way these 5s and 7s interact is very important to how to solve this puzzle. Another thing you want to notice is when you have a puzzle like this, kind of look to where you have a lot of the digits, because there's only 20 givens. So I'm looking across row 2 and up these columns. Kind of look across here. Where can a 2 be, right? A 2 cannot be here, and it can't be here because of this 2. So we can solve for a 2 right there in that spot. And what I like what Florian does, there's a lot of symmetry in this puzzle. I mean, the way the design is, in the heart. Look for a 3. So you got a 3 over here. Can't be in any of these spots, so 3 has to be in this spot right there. So we solved all that, and then we know that what's remaining here has to be a naked triple. 1, 6, 9 naked triple. So that means 1, 6, 9 can't be anywhere else in block 2. And so it limits these 2 cells to a 4 and an 8 naked pair. And this is important too. This is going to be really important. So I want to put all this out right now. Other thing, I talked to you and said that the 5s and 7s are important. Okay, so where can a 7 be here in block 3? Well, I just showed you that you got this hidden pair of 5, 7. So 7 can't be there because just like the 5s, they're restricted in block 2 to row 1. And you got the 7 coming up here, so this has to be a 7. Kind of how we saw that 5 right there. See the symmetry going on? This is a lovely puzzle. You're going to love this, and I haven't even got to the best part. I'm about to get there right now. A couple things you want to notice here too. These 4s come down, and this 4, 8, that makes that a pointing pair as well. And so a 4 can't be here, because the 4's got to be somewhere in block 2, and it's limited to column 5 there in block 2. You see this 4 cuts across here? That means the 4s are limited now to 2 spots here in block 8. And so now the 4s are a pointing pair. Similar to how the 5s were up there, the 4s are now a pointing pair. And so that means the 4s can't be in any of these spots. And because of this 4 and this 4, the 4s are limited to these 2 spots right here. And then the other thing you want to notice is you got this 7 coming down column 3 and cutting across row 6. So the 7s are limited to these 2 spots. And this is another pointing pair. So the 7s are limited in block 4 to column 2, they can't be anywhere else along column 2. And this is important. And this is where we're going to get to the first great strategy you need to see here. And it's actually not an advanced strategy, but something you have to find. Okay, if we could figure out and remove a 4 from one of these cells, we can make a lot of solving, make a lot of progress in this puzzle. Can we do that? And the answer is yes, we can. And here's how we do it. Remember I talked to you about the 5s and the 7s? Look at the relationship. Where can a 5 and a 7 be across row 8? Well, because of this pointing pair and this 5 can't be here. Because of this 5, 7, it can't be here. Because of this 5, 7 can't be here. Because of this 5, 7, it can't be here. Because of this 5, 7, it can't be here. So there's only 2 cells where 5, 7 can be across row 8. And it's column 1 and column 9. This means they are a hidden pair. This is another type of hidden pair. And this is critical because if you have a hidden pair like this 5, 7, and what it means is you could think there's other candidates in these 2 cells, but there's not. The 5 and 7 have to be somewhere in row 8, so they end up being those 2 spots. And so I will color that just to kind of, because this is going to come into play even later in the puzzle. This is the first great strategy in C. And a hidden pair is considered a medium strategy, but this one's a little hard to find. But what it means is no other candidate can be here in this cell except for 5 or 7. So we can eliminate that 4. And then we can solve this cell for a 4. This is the first neat, lovely strategy. I love how Florian put this into this puzzle. But we're not done. I said my second's the favorite. And I want to get you to that second strategy before I give you my great announcement. You want to stick around for that. All right, so now with these 4s in columns 2 and 3, boom, this has got to be a 4 right here. There's no other place to put it in block 4 right there. Okay, and what else can we do with these 4s? Now, we got this 4 cutting across row 6. This 4 coming up means this has to be a 4. Only place in block 6. And now with these 4s in column 7 and 8, only place left for 4s right there. And now look, we can disambiguate this hidden, well, the naked pair of the 4 and the 8. And isn't that nice? And now with these two 8s, we can solve this cell for an 8. Looking good. We're going to stop on the 4s for a second, but we can finish row 3. The only thing missing is a 9, so we can solve that for a 9. And then we're going to put a 2, 6 up here because that's all that's left in block 3. And then up here you have a naked triple, right? There's 3 cells remaining, 1, 3, or 9. So I put a 1, 3, or 9 right there. And we can do some cleaning up. We got a 1 right here, so this has got to be a 1. You actually have a 3 and the 7 right here. So you notice how the 7 was limited to these 2 spots? Well, the 3 can't be in those 3 spots. So the 3s are limited to those 2 spots as well. So this can't be a 3 because the 3 has to be right here, just like the 7 does. And I'll get rid of those marks. And this is another neat, and then of course the 3 can't be here. So this is kind of another neat strategy I kind of want to show you there. And I think you're going to see what I'm about to show you is that this is now a naked triple 2, 6, 9. And so with this 2, 6, 9, that can remain here, we know this can't be 9. The other way you can see it is that this has to be, you can solve this for a 3, and we'll get to that part. But because of this 2, 6, 9, this can't be a 9. This has to be a 1. This is your 9, and then this is going to be your 3. Lovely. And since we have a naked triple right there, and I'm not going to actually mark out all the candidates, but let's choose a different color, though. Let's go purple. Then we know that 2, 6, 9 can't be there, so whatever's left here has to be, we can solve that. It's kind of the end of the full house. So we can solve that for an 8. And this is nice. And now let's use that 8 to our advantage, right? Whenever you solve something, you want to see if you can use it to your advantage. So now 8 can't be across row 9 anymore. You got this 8 coming down right here. So now the 8s are actually a pointing pair. And so the 8s are a pointing pair on block 8. And so now an 8 can't be in those spots, and it can't be there. So it's got to be somewhere across row 8 here in block 9. Well, it can't be here because of this hidden pair. And it can't be here because of this 8. So we can actually solve this cell for an 8. And this is great because just like what we did the 4s, now we're going to do something similar with the 8s. Because you see how that was a solve for 4 there? Well, now the 8 can't be anywhere here. It's got to be right there. So it's kind of like catty corner from that other 4. Really nice. And this creates another naked triple. And what naked triple does this form? Let's get rid of these colors first because I'm not talking about those anymore. This is a 1, 3, 6, right? So 1, 3, 6 naked triple. So we'll say, okay, well, imagine this is a 1, 3, 6. I don't have to put it in there because you can see that hopefully. And what does that mean? That means that this can no longer be a 6 because the 6 is limited to these spots. So it's a lock candidate of a triple, including the 6, which means we can solve that for a 2. We can solve that for. This is the second great strategy I want to show you. The symmetry of these naked triples being able to solve at the top here. This is lovely. And it brings me to our special announcement. Florian Workman is going to be my Friday featured setter in the month of March. So I've featured Florian many times before. Hopefully you can see by the beauty of puzzles like this, he's going to be amazing because he's going to give us 4 puzzles each Friday in March, plus a bonus puzzle that I'll be featuring on my Buy Me a Coffee page. You don't want to miss that. And this puzzle itself kind of reminds me of another holiday puzzle that Florian did for me. I'll put a link to it right now. You want to check that out. But we also want to get through the rest of the solving. I actually have some more Valentine's surprises for you, so stay tuned here. All right, since we know this can't be a 1, 3, or 6, we can solve this last cell right there for a 9. Awesome. So that has to be a 9. And this has really helped us now make a lot of progress, and now we should be able to kind of get through and get the rest of this solving done. Okay, what are we looking for here in column 9? We're missing a 5, a 7, and a 6. Okay, can't solve that yet. But what we can do is let's look at these 3s. I got these 2 3s here. I got this 3 here. Means this has to be a 3. Awesome. And then let's look across, this great row of ours, right? This 5, 7, we know have to be in those 2 cells. What else do we have? Looks like a 2, a 6, and a 9. Well, I got the 9 and the 6 right here. So this has to be your 2. And so we can solve this for a 1. And then if we look here, I got a 9 right there. This has to be 6, and this is going to be your 9. Awesome. And now you see how this 1 cuts across. And you got a 1 right here, and we have this 1 coming down column 1. So we know we can solve that for a 1, and then we should be able to solve this cell for a 2 because it's the only can remaining in column 2. Okay, great. And now we got this 2 cutting across here. This 2 coming down means this has to be a 2, which displaces our Snyder, means we can solve that for a 4. Awesome. And then this 9 and 7, I remember there's a 5, 7, 9 over here, so that has to be your 5. And now we can disambiguate this hidden pair that's been so helpful to us. And with that, we can get rid of all of our nice colors there, and we can move on. But you want to make sure that you're following this to the end, because if you make any mistakes here, you might think that you didn't do something right. But I'm telling you, we are on the right path. So kind of follow along with me and make sure we can get through this. This is a full house, and we're missing just the 9 there. So let's get out of color mode and solve that cell for a 9. Awesome. And then we look over here, and what are we missing? It looks like a 6 and a 7. I got my 7 right there. So here's your 7, and here's your 6. What do we got cutting across there? It looks like it's like 5, 6, or an 8. I got my 5 and an 8. So that's got to be a 6 right there. And then you're looking at a 1, 6, 9. I got my 6 and 9. That's got to be a 1. And you can get rid of that 1 right there. And then what are we missing here? It looks like a 2 and a 3. Oh, there's my 2. So you see this, the beauty here. Intended solve path, logical solve path. The way Florian does this, because of this 3, this is now a 7 and a 3, it just goes right to the next solve, to the next solve, because these 2 3s now means we can solve this first 3. And hopefully your eyes are just following along with it, and you see the beauty in this. And we got this 1 here, so you know that can't be the 1. This has to be your 1, and this has to be your 6 for that 1, 3, 6. And now these 2 1s with this 1 means this has to be a 1 right there. And let's continue on here. What are we looking? Let's look across this way. Looking for a 6 and a 9. Actually can't solve the 6 and a 9 yet, but we'll get there. But what it does give us is a 6 and a 9. With this 6, 9 means that's a naked pair. So I'll color that up just to kind of show 6 and 9 can't be anywhere else along column 4. That might come in a little handy to us, because now 1, 2, 3, 6, 9. We know we got a 4, 5, 7, 8. And so we have a 4, 5, and an 8 right here. We can actually solve this using a naked single for a 7. Nice. And now we can solve this 5 and this 7 right there. And with these 2 5s, we know this is a 5, which displaces a Snyder, means this has to be your 8. And now 8 with this 8 means the only place left for an 8 in block 5 is right there. Awesome. And now where can we go from here, right? So we know this is going to be a 6, 9. There's only 2 left. So this 9 means this is a 6. That's a 9. That's a 6. That's a 9. Awesome. And this is going to be a 4. Let's get rid of these colors. I don't like the colors. Boom. And we got those 3 cells left. Remember 2, 6, 9? So I look right here. 9, 2, 6. So I know that's got to be a 9 right there. As soon as I get out of the color mode. Boom. 9. There's 2, so it means this has to be your 2, and that is your 6. You need to click on my Instagram page and get another puzzle by Riff Clown. Also, go to my Buy Me a Coffee. I'll give you a 3rd puzzle. This one's by RockRat0, and I did a whole solving video, and I want you to see that. While you're there, consider joining the Smarty Party, getting in the membership, and get involved with some of these great puzzle hunts I'm doing. I still have one going for a month of February. I already got another one lined up for March already. Thank you so much, Florian, for letting me feature this puzzle on my channel. And thank you so much for watching.